All right,
I think we should be live. Amazing.
let's do it.
All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Based Builders. What is the Based Builders show, Carlos? Can you tell us? Fill us in.
Base Builders is a series of podcasts where we feature builders that are building on base, and this ranges everywhere from artists and creators and community builders to some of the top protocols in the ecosystem.
I love it. I just changed the setting, by the way. We do it live around here. Is that better? Can you hear me better now? Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
was picking up. Yeah, it was picking wasn't picking up
sounds
my
good.
Oh,
mic.
great.
Amazing. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We've got Nick here from the Bolide app, and am I saying that right? I'm realizing now for the first time that I've only
That's
seen it.
right.
I've never actually said it out loud. So, one thing that we do here on Base Builders, as Carlos said, is we just like to celebrate people who are building interesting things in the base ecosystem, and you definitely fit that bill. You're building Bolide, which is kind of like a meme coin management app, if you want to put it that way. But I'd love to put it to you actually and tell us what is Bolide and what can people do with it.
So essentially, to put it in short, Bolide is a meme coin trading app on Base for now. We realized that there's a big gap in the ecosystem where it's right now. Base does want to onboard a lot of new people into crypto and just overall newbies, as we might call them. And it's quite difficult at the moment to buy meme coins, which is usually one of the reasons people do come onto on chain. We found that out through many different user interviews, and yeah, overall, just using Dex Screener, Uniswap, and all the other dexes out there, it was just way too complicated. So we decided to pivot from what we originally were, and we've completely just kind of changed our app into a meme coin trading app. And I mean, it's been working out great. Base has been amazing. The support has been just overwhelming, and yeah, we keep building, we keep pushing. We don't look at charts, we don't look at the active users. We just do what we do, and we continue to improve the space every day.
I love that. How would you classify the Bolide app? Is it more of a tracker like CoinGecko, like Dex, or is it more of a wallet, or is it somewhere between both of those things?
So it's sort of in the middle of it because you can track your positions or your coins. So what you do in Bolide is essentially you register. We make it simple, but we use account abstraction and social login. We use Preview for that, and yeah. So essentially, users just come in. They can be new or already existent. They use Apple login or Google, or even just simple email and receive a password every single time they have to log in. And there we go. They're already inside of Bolide. They can top up from anywhere using even Apple Pay and buy meme coins straight away. And from there on, they can see their position. Sort of, we've also developed a new sort of AI feature that we have. It's called the shilling level, which I think has been really revolutionary because we track. So essentially, for people who don't know, a meme coin, you have sort of the name. I'm going to take an example of BaseGot, one of the original meme coins on Base. So the name would be BaseGot, and
TYBG.
the ticker exactly would be TYBG. So what our algorithm does is actually track the ticker all over social media on platforms like Twitter and Forecaster, and actually see how much the ticker is being talked about. And the more it's talked about, the higher its shilling level, sort of really helping the new users out there who don't know where to look or how to look
So
to
you're trying to
essentially
help them
see.
find you're trying to help them find the shilling point. Is that what you're saying?
For sure, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Oh my
To see how much
god.
how much of a good investment it is. If it's not so much talked
I,
about, then probably not so great.
yeah, I just want to say that the degen ecosystem is so efficient now. It like you said, if you're trying to do this and trying to do the research and look into all these things 4 years ago, you'd be on 20 different tabs, right? So just being able to measure the social sentiment for a token is definitely one of those metrics that degens I've heard degens use that to make decisions
Back
on
in the day,
their
it would take a
purchases.
dev around $200 and around a day or two to launch a meme coin. Now it's what, like a few seconds and basically free.
Yeah, yeah, for
It's
Thanks
a
sure.
for
lot more
saying
easy
have,
that.
now.
have you been able to identify like specific demographics that are using your app? I guess that's pretty difficult, but maybe from your
Yes.
community building, I know that you've built a really strong community. So are you able to identify people from different pockets of the world?
Yes, so we're actually massive. We're massive in Nigeria and just overall West Africa and South Africa. So this all happened really recently. We knew that we were building sort of towards the Nigerian market from the beginning because we realized there's a big gap in the space where people, big builders out there, especially in base, they don't really concentrate on the, that part of the world, and they're mostly focused on the US. So yeah, we try to deliver content to them. And recently, we had a big spike in users. We grew overnight by about 50,000 users. All came from different parts of Africa. And
Interesting.
yes,
Where,
so that was
where
kind
did
of the
that come
area.
from? Did it come from one of their? I know that Base Africa has been doing a lot of Twitter Spaces and whatnot. I wonder if you guys got mentioned on there or something. Did you track where that came from?
So what happened is we have a referral system, which is essentially I give you my code, and once you join in Bolide and put in that code, you receive a token and I receive a token. And we have been noticed by a big sort of Nigerian group of influencers, and they really started to push out their codes, and that what really brought us in.
Yeah, that's great. I love that you had that focus going into this because those are markets that we always discuss in the ecosystem, and we obviously identify a lot of potential there, but it really is difficult to try to tap into a market that you don't have context in. Right?
They are forgotten. Unfortunately, people don't believe in that sort of area of the world, and they don't really concentrate on it, which I think people are missing out. Every time I've been asked, where should new builders concentrate? I'm telling them concentrate on sort of third world countries, because that's where your users are. America already has what they need. England, Australia, Canada, they already have everything. So concentrate on areas and try to really put your user research out there and see what people actually need who are going to be using your app instead of just judging on it or just tweeting about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I please remind me to make a point to introduce you to the Base Africa builders. Um, yeah, Chris and Coco Codes are just doing a great job of pushing the whole base ecosystem and the whole.
I've been on Chris's Twitter Spaces, X Spaces recently. It was really great.
We've actually started onboarding a few ambassadors from Africa recently because they've been, especially on Twitter, because basically my Twitter feed is all sort of the West content, and their Twitter feed is different, so they can actually engage with users on their side of the world with having talking about Bolide or having even the little green badge next to their name. That really does help a lot.
Yeah. So Nick, we like to get to know our guests a little better. Can you share a little bit about your crypto origin story, how you got involved in the on-chain economy, and maybe a little bit about what's kept you here as well?
For sure. So back in around 2020, I started with NFTs, which is I think how a lot of people started. I got my first collection. It was called Invisible Friends. I remember sitting there grinding on Discord.
We're sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no, my trade was actually good. I have a good story on that. That's how I kept into crypto. So I sniped that with a very early waiting list, and then kind of sold it at a really good price, and sort of like, okay, this is really something, and there's probably a benefit to this, so I should keep going. But then I decided to step off for a while, concentrate on kind of my studies, and sort of this is what time when I moved to London first from Spain, and then I met Oxbit, which is currently a co-founder. We first started building Bolide as a yield aggregator app, and that was back in the whole yield summer, and then everything kind of died.
Was it named after a fruit or a vegetable?
What, Bolide?
I mean, the yield aggregator. At that point, we were all
trends.
farming so many.
I see where you're going with this. Yes, no, we were just we were Bolide. We're Bolide now, and then yeah, I sort of started getting some practice in. She's been very kind to me, trying to onboard me into this whole space. I started to learn a little bit more in depth of what there is, and DBank was the first social platform that I used for getting into that crypto native world. Then we got introduced to Farcaster when it first came out, and ever since then, that's when we started building Bolide, and I've been around since then. So not quite a big story of making millions online and then sort of spending my money freely on building an app, but yeah, sort of just a builder.
Yeah, most of us haven't made millions. It's just like a
Not
few
yet.
loud
Yeah.
people.
I was told that happens next cycle, right? That's what I was told.
Yeah.
Only if you use Bolide, though.
Yes, trade your memes on Bolide. That is what's gonna make you millionaire.
I'd love
right.
to hear where the idea for Bolide came from, though. So you joined Farcaster, and you probably saw a lot of this mania that was happening around DGen at the time, and Hire and some of these other currencies. What made you think that there was a need there for a separate app for people to be able to sort of manage those?
So essentially, how the whole idea came out is Oxbid, our founder, she went to Draper's University. I don't know if you know about that, and it's sort of like a big entrepreneurial space. 100 people get together and then they spend like a week in a small hotel. It's also a VC fund as well. And she came back to London because she had no phone access, like they take away all your tech. She came back to London. She just sat our team down and she was like, guys, base is the next move, all right? Because everyone was just talking about base. That's what originally just launched and just getting started. It's like we have to build on base, because before we were building on sort of BNB, Polygon, that's sort of like what used to be. And actually then Base God came out, and that's when I was first checking out Base meme coins, and that's when I really first made my big money on meme coins, was with Base God. So then we were just kind of scrolling around thinking how we can actually migrate to Base. Maybe we should just add a chain to our yield aggregator, or something else. And then once we all started sort of getting into the meme coin area, we started to look for places to make it easier, because Uniswap, we had a problem with the slipperage. That was a big problem for us, because we couldn't sell in time and we were losing money quicker than we were making.
Can you explain that to people who might be listening in and maybe they look at that toggle and they don't even know what slippage means? Can you explain that and why it's important for meme coins specifically?
Of course. So if you're bad and if you're not using Bolide, you have to deal with slipperage, which is first of all, you have to copy a contract address of the token you're trading, put it into Uniswap. Then when the token is very volatile, the price is moving up and down very quick. And essentially what slipperage is you're putting in a percentage of essentially saying to your DEX, to your whatever you're trading with, you're saying you can play around with this percent of a price change, and you can buy and sell within the margins of this percent. And the problem is at some point you're asking to sell at a certain price, but because the price is so volatile and you're putting a high slipperage because you're saying I just want to sell, get me out of this trade as quickly as possible, you might be actually losing money. So yeah, that's sort of what slipperage is.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but that's a good explanation. So you weren't able to use Uniswap for the things you wanted to use it for because of these slippage issues, so that contributed to what you were creating?
Yeah, first of all, I didn't even know what slipperage is, and I had to Google it.
That's definitely one of those early mistakes everyone makes.
In Bolide, you don't have to worry about slipperage. We do it all for you.
Okay, so maybe give us some more, without taking shots at any specific app, if you don't want to. Go ahead if you want to, but what
Uniswap is a sponsor of Carlos's paid alpha group, so you really messed things up.
Uniswap is great. I still use Uniswap when I need to snipe some quick tokens. I'm just saying it could be easily improved.
Yeah. So what do you think are competitive advantages that your app has over other products they're more commonly used for just all tokens, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, so essentially, what would bring people to us instead of, again, other dexes? Well, to put it in short, we just make it a lot more hassle-free, and in order to keep someone on chain, you have to really make it easy and simple, almost like a game. Because what games do? They really hook you up. They really show you that it's just only a few clicks away. Because in human psychology, how does it work? It's the more complicated your actions are, the less likely you are to do them.
Yep.
So our advantage is we make to buy a meme coin, it takes, right from registering on Bolide to purchasing your first meme, it takes around 5 clicks. And I mean, on other dexes, sometimes it only takes 5 clicks to put in your contract address and select which chain you're trading with.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, correct me. Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but you sound like a somewhat of a recent builder. Have you built other projects or products before?
As I was part of I'm quite new to the Bolide team, but I know before they were building some, obviously the yield aggregator that I talked to you about, that was going on for I think around a year and a half. That was around. So our team is quite experienced at that. Our Oxbridge has been in crypto for a very long time. I think since around 2018. And before that, we had a P2P company, but that sort of died out because they were ahead of their time, as I would like to say, because that back then, because it was very early on, I think it was around 2017 when they were building it, that was not really necessary back then because crypto wasn't, that widespread that people needed to use the P2P service.
So I was asking that because I'm very impressed with the prioritization of making on-ramping easy. So being able to pay through, through account abstraction using Apple Pay. That's something that surprisingly we don't have every project doing already, right? And I don't know what the reason for that is, but it's just I find that really cool, specifically because that's kind of you're trying to cater to this newer market as well, newer market participants. So I think that's really cool, and I hope I'm sure we'll see a lot more of that. But right now, it's like you are at the forefront of that movement, right? So that's really cool. And I've also noticed that you've adopted a lot of the tactics that basically meme communities have to adopt to become successful, right? So can you tell us a little bit more, just kind of carrying on from like the competitive advantages? You've also created this really cool, fun, engaging community, right? So what's that like, building that out?
So the meme community overall, what I mean by meme is the meme coin community. It's just, it makes the job fun. Because personally myself, I'm non-tech. I'm a community manager, also marketing. So I'm the guy behind all the socials. And just engaging, having your job as being part of, shit posting and just, joining spaces all day and creating sort of events or partnerships or going to, real life events. That's really something that you won't find anywhere else. And the fact that they can actually bring a change to the on-chain world, or at some point actually real world, because real money is being made on meme coins. It's wonderful. And going back to your question of how the community is being built is awesome, because you get to connect, first of all, because it's all online. You get to connect with different sort of cultures, and you get to connect with different cultures and different types of people, no matter if they're good at responses or sometimes they get a bit unpractical. So yeah, so far it's been great.
Yeah, and you just mentioned, in real life and going to events. Can you tell us a little bit more about this event that is coming up in London?
For sure. So Bolide has actually been working very closely with Base and as leaders of the sort of the London community of Base. And what we have coming up on the 18th, this Wednesday. So if anyone's in London watching, head over to oxbid.base.eth. That's her Twitter account, or just OXB on Forecaster. And we're actually going to be hosting the Vitalik film, The Journey of Ethereum. All tickets are free. We've booked out the whole of cinema. I think it's based on sponsoring. And before that, there's going to be a happy hour, which is going to, offer drinks or some snacks. Also, all attendance is free. All the sort of foods and drinks, always all complimentary and sponsored by Base. So on the 18th, this Wednesday in London, around the Piccadilly area, for anyone who needs to know the train stations, that's where it's going to be at.
Cool. That sounds like a great time.
Carlos is booking a train right now. I can see it. I can see it in his noggles. It's reflecting back.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like a great job. It definitely, I've been involved with a lot of, meme communities in my years in crypto, and it definitely keeps things entertaining. Even if your bags are totally wrecked, people are still in there being funny and keeping it positive somehow. Yeah, so that's great. I was going to suggest, as part of this community building and the activations that you're doing, and I know that you do a lot of direct collabs with the meme communities themselves. You should shoot at doing something with the Yellow Collective as well. Yellow Collective has a ton of artists. It's a great way to create more engagement from a lot of emerging economies as well. A lot of the artists they're spread all over the world. But Toady, this is great time to shill the yellow.
Yeah, no, we should definitely take that offline and see if there's a collaboration we could work on, because it would be neat. For sure.
For sure, we work with tokens every day, and Yellow Collective and the token.
There's no tokens. Toady, I was trying to put up the alley oop, bro.
Well, there's no meme token. There's no
Hmm.
meme token. Just the daily auction is the only token, but that doesn't mean we can't find a way to collaborate. I'm sure we probably
For
could.
sure. We've collaborated with communities, we've collaborated with schools, with everything.
Yeah,
I love
sure.
that. Speaking of communities, Carlos, I wouldn't mind actually asking Nick a little bit about sort of maybe if you could call it a perception shift that has happened during this cycle when it comes to meme coins. I think for anyone who's been in past cycles, you'll remember that sort of meme coins were always sort of thought as invariably shit coins or gambling or what have you. And of course, there's still a lot of that. But something I've noticed a lot with certain meme coin communities this cycle is that they've gained a certain amount of legitimacy, and people like Jesse, for example, have spoken about the positive side of meme coins and how they can, bring people in, onboard people, get them fired up, and how like speculation can be a bit of a superpower in certain ways. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this and how things are maybe different this cycle from the past cycles of meme coins versus some of the sort of scene coins or community coins that we see now with like DGen and Thank You Base God and these other communities.
For sure. You brought up a good point that previously meme coins were overlooked as something of a casino and a gambling strategy. If you want to lose money quickly or double them, I think nowadays that narrative has really shifted into being. Right now, I like to think of meme coins as attention grabbers. So one of the common ways that now meme coins are being used is to highlight a project, because obviously there's lots of traders out there sitting on the X screen and looking at what's new. And if they see a big token move up in price in a day, there's usually a website link to that token or a Twitter. And obviously the daily active visitors on the website and the Twitter followers, they grow, sort of bringing attention to your project. So recently we've worked with this token. It's called Colosseum, which is a DeFi project on Base. And they've launched a meme token, which is, previously last cycle, that would have been unheard for. They would have been a project token, not a meme coin, which is, and I asked them why you do this. And they said, obviously, just to bring more attention to themselves. They're all docs. They're not planning to rug. It's not like they understand that this is a casino game, but this is sort of a marketing strategy or an attention grabber.
The funny thing is that a lot of those quote unquote utility tokens from those past cycles were meme coins anyway. So you might as well just lean in, right?
One big issue with last cycle's utility tokens is they were also heavily controlled by teams. Even though they were calling themselves decentralized, most of the tokens were held within the sort of between the teams and the investors. And nowadays, the fact that a meme coin gets launched and anyone can buy it straight from the beginning, I think that sort of gives also freedom of control over a project if it is truly decentralized. And I think it's a big step up.
Do you think it's a double-edged sword at all with like how easy it is to launch meme coins now versus past cycles? Does it make the velocity of these things too hard for people to track?
For sure. I mean, I don't want to name any names. There were previously already examples this past few weeks where some projects have been, easy to launch meme coins. One of the big ones, they've been kind of really hated on. purely because people say they've been destroying the space. But personally, I think that's only the reason they hate on the projects like this is because they didn't get in early, or they kept losing. But from my perspective, I think some of
they
these
should
big
have joined
projects,
the alpha group.
they bring so much volume to any chain that they've been deployed on. For example, let's use a base example, which is Ape Store, right? We're planning on collaborating with them, and at some point, I believe they were bringing in around $255 million of volume a day at its peak. And I mean, that is just massive numbers for a small chain like Base. Not a small chain, a starting chain like Base. And the fact that projects can bring numbers in like this is definitely not a bad thing. And whether it's good or not that it's so easy to launch coins now, I don't think it's bad. Because before, as I told you in the beginning, it would take about a day or two for a dev to launch a token. It would take about $200. But now there's devs out there who have so much potential and so much, brain inside of them that they can just put their creativity and put their sort of knowledge out there for barely anything, and they can, make their voices heard. We've previously, in the past 2 weeks, we've worked with at least 5 of those type of people, which, before they would just not be able to be, on the market and actually putting their name out there.
I think that's where I land too. I think I said to Cast out about that when people were kind of piling on and talking about how Pump.fun was ruining crypto again. And it's like before Pump.com, it was Blur. Blur ruined the last cycle. There's always some platform that's ruining things instead of like taking a step back and self-examining and be like, maybe we're ruining things, and like this is just code. And like you can't really blame platforms for just facilitating certain behaviors that we're going to do anyway.
I think there's definitely a right and the wrong way to do this. So we've recently with the meme alpha, we've seen certain industry leaders get hated on, like the Avalanche team, right? Avalanche tried to make this what do they call it? A culture fund, right? To fund things, but then they're also
to buy meme coins, basically, yeah.
Yeah, but then they're also like collabing with Dwight Howard, who rugs a token in 3 days or something like that, right? So it looks really bad on that whole ecosystem when things happen like that from the top. And
you can't create culture from the top down. That's the thing.
Yeah, with the base ecosystem, exactly like what you just said. The team is very intentional about how they provide support and visibility, right? They want to see these projects come out and really try to build a community themselves and grow their own ecosystem, and also do like a fair token launch, right? So if the team, what I've noticed, or the way I perceive it, is if the team is able to identify these projects that are actually doing this, and they're doing things that are also creative and meaningful for the culture, then they'll throw some support behind them, right? And then in certain occasions, a lot of support, right? So I guess, I mean, we're still trying to figure all of this out, but there has been this huge cultural shift, which has also caused the attention to shift from the core teams towards these all these projects that are popping up. There is so much funding to go around within these tokens, and that's because it's easy. You don't have to think about like, what does Chainlink do again? Like, I need to figure this out before I buy it. Right? Meme coin, it's like, oh, that's a cute cat. I'll get that one.
Yeah, Chainlink's a meme coin, right?
Yeah. I mean, an important aspect, I think, is education. I think we should have said at the beginning of this space is always do your own research. Because even though there are some great potential in meme coins, there's always the possibility of losing it all. So I guess always invest what you're prepared to lose. Never, try to make your money back.
What are your top 3 picks for 10-year holds of meme?
Yeah, totally financial advice from Bolide app.
On the 10-year horizon, what do you think? All right, so okay, let's talk without going into specific meme coins. What attracts you to a token, right? To a meme token or community.
So I'm a bit of a gambler. The issue with me, the issue with me is
No
anything that
way.
has a pretty name or a pretty picture, I'm sold. But what I've noticed recently, the tokens that really sort of the new meta in the meme coin space is if the dev is sort of doxed, as in if he's showing his face, he's speaking with his real voice, such a good sign for a project. Honestly, every single project that I've seen the dev on space from the very beginning has flew to at least 1 million market cap. So from anyone out there, if you guys really see, first of all, it's a security net because obviously Doc's dev is going to be scared to rug because he's afraid there's some scary people out there with a lot of money. They're going to come after him if it's a big investment. So another thing that I've noticed is obviously having a good community. This has been talked about a lot, especially by the Oyo-based team. That's what we've been talking to them recently a lot. And they really highlight the part that even though now they're quite down, I think they're around 70% from the all-time high, they're down. And they said the only thing that's kind of still keeping them going is the community support, because we're on the same boat right now. Everybody is down. Whoever you ask, if anyone is making money, they're either really lucky or lying to you, because the market is not great right now.
Or they're in Carlos's paid alpha group. It's one of the two.
That's one of the options. But overall, because that's how it is, and we're going to continue all together pushing through this, the red markets until we never know when the next pump is going to be. It might be tomorrow, it might be in a week, and it might be in a few months. But I guarantee you that the projects who haven't left, who are still building, who are still engaging, who are still posting, who are still joining spaces and hosting collaborations, they're the ones who are going to come out on top the next bull run, which is, again, we never know when that is.
Oh, I was told, Carlos told me that you were coming with news on when the next bull market was going to begin. So I feel a little bit robbed, to be honest. Carlos, maybe we can ask some of the questions we've asked on past base builders about what it's been like, or actually why the Bolide team decided to build on base specifically when there were lots of other options, presumably when you were launching.
Oh, for sure. So one of the most common questions is, you're building a meme coin trading app, why not Solana? I don't like to talk bad about any chain, but I kind of like to call Solana the dark web of meme coins, because just the area, the fact that they're so already well developed, it's scary out there. I believe most of the coins out there, actually, I looked at statistics the other day. It was about 99% of the tokens that are launched on Solana are probably rugs, and around 1,000 people are making money a day compared to the millions which are trading a day.
Yeah.
On base, those numbers are completely different.
Great.
Not great. On base, those numbers are completely different because, first of all, it's a smaller chain. There's smaller options to buy, and there are greater communities because people come to base because they are attracted by the builders side of it. They're attracted by Jesse Pollock, who is obviously a great leader, who is here to support. So what originally really gave us the assurance of, yeah, we're going to keep building on base was the support we got from Jesse, obviously, because I'm sure he's supported everyone who's ever come to build on base. Yeah. So first it was shown to us about shoutouts and multiple reposts. Then about 2 weeks into building the project, we got a big base grant. We were, I think, the second ever base grant given away. And I mean, that really showed us that the team was there. Sorry?
That's a big flex.
Yes. That really showed us that the team is here to support us. And, they're there with us alongside, no matter what it is. And even then, every week we post, almost every Friday we post updates about what we're building on Bolide and, what sort of lessons we've learned and what to pay attention to. And most of the base team that is on Forecaster or Twitter, they usually like, repost, comment. So, you don't get that. We were on Polygon, we were on BNB. We did not get that support.
Yeah, this is a recurring theme that we hear a lot from a lot of builders who come on this show. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, that's the big question. Everyone gets asked why base.
Yeah,
there's a million answers.
It's very evident that support that Jesse and the rest of the team provide to all the builders, on every level, from like community builders to creators to protocols. It's very evident. it reminds me a little bit. I don't know if you were around, but Sandeep from Polygon Matic back then was like that. Gives me that early vibe, early Sandeep vibes. But yeah, Jesse's everywhere, man, and he's always down to help people or direct them to the best person to get them support. And there's so many resources that are available for base builders, right? Like you mentioned earlier in this call, the events that are being sponsored by base, right? I think there's something like 10 events weekly now happening around the world, and these are all just community builders or projects that are looking to grow the base ecosystem, the base user base locally, like geographically. Yeah, tons of support. It's cool. It's cool. That is a huge flex as well too. Second grant.
I think you
So
also touched on an important point that we're very early. So in case there's anyone watching or later on, I don't know if this is recorded, thinking about going into base, this is like a perfect time, especially now when the markets are quiet. Everyone's been saying this is the time to start learning about and preparing yourself for what's about to come, because what is about
It's a
to
builder.
come is,
It's a builder market.
of course, and because what's about to come is unimaginable. The numbers are going to be through the roof. Everything is going to be green. Support is going to be. We're going to have the next billion of people on base in the next run. That's what we believe. And at some point, Jesse's not going to be that available. He's going to become a celebrity, and we're going to see him on.
Wait, he's already a celebrity, isn't he?
He is. I was actually in San Francisco last month and for the meme coin conference, and
Yeah.
he was there, and he was just loved by all and surrounded by all, which was awesome to see.
It was like that at base camp too. You couldn't get a word in edgewise because he was just constantly surrounded by people. But hey, I mean, he's done a lot for the space.
That type of support, it's amazing what it does, right? For builders, even just having that, just being seen by the people that are leading the protocol that you're building on. I remember, I think it must have been 2 years ago at Consensus. He was doing his talk and he mentioned my project during one of his talks, and I got so many pings, like so many DMs on Twitter and on Telegram about, hey man, Jesse just mentioned Web3 Beach on the, and I'm like, what? Like how? Why? How does he know this? And then I finally met him in person, and I'm like, hey dude, I'm Carlos. I don't know if he's like, yeah, of course I know you, man. You're like Web3 Beach. You're doing all these things. I'm going. And I was thinking, how does he have that kind of retention power in his brain? Right, to like identify all these people and keep track of all the work that they're doing, and then like go out of his way to express support or try to find them resources for to continue that path. It's just amazing.
That's kind of the secret though, is that like Jesse and the base team, they understand that builders really want and need amplification and support, more than almost anything else. Like funding is great, grants are great, money does put food on the table, of course, but most other ecosystems just throw money at things and they don't give that kind of amplification and support. And that's really what I think has helped a lot of projects shine and grow in the base ecosystem, is just knowing that if you build, you will be rewarded, and not just like financially. You'll be rewarded with amplification, with like recasts and retweets from the base account, from Jesse, etc. And those things go, a long way when you're building in this space.
Speaking of amplification, I want to just derail this for 1 second and give a shout out to the 122 people that we have watching on X.
Let's go.
And do you know how many people are on YouTube right now? Nick, if you could, if you have your X app handy, I'd appreciate if you can give us a retweet or re-X. I don't know how to repost of the stream, and maybe we can try to get more of your audience in here.
Yeah, sure. We got a handful of people watching over on YouTube, but a lot of activity in the chat, which is cool to see. Lots of shit talking happening in the YouTube chat. So
Nick brought the meme community vibes.
Maybe.
I love it.
So Nick, what are these contests that you run for your community? What are those like?
So we try to give as much money away as possible. Even the base grant that we were given, we did not keep any of it. We used it all to give free gas on transactions back then. And so there's multiple type of community competitions that we do. So obviously, first of all, you can get your very first balance from just a referral code that you receive from a friend. Second of all is that's the first part. You enter the app, you get the referral money. Second of all, you do your first trade. We do constant trading competitions. So we're about to launch one right now, actually, after the space. And the prices for them are massive. For example, we just finished one. The first space, the person who got the #1 trading competition through volume transactions, he earned about, I think, $400 while spending, very little on gas and just simply trading, of doing what he loves, of course. And third of all, we also do airdrops every Friday. We partner with different token every week we sort of ask them to sponsor the airdrop, which is around 1,000 or more to go around the whole users. And so everyone who's traded this week, like throughout the week, everyone gets an airdrop. Obviously, the more you trade, the better.
You get an airdrop, and you get an airdrop, and you.
That's how it is. I'm there at the night, sitting there, like sorting through the thousands of wallets, and trying to see who done it best. And obviously, the person who does trade and loves what he does, he gets about the top one, normally around $100 or $150, which is a good amount for something, for just trading. I believe that's very reasonable, and we're really thankful to all the tokens who sponsor it every week. This week we also have a great sponsor. It's Fish on Base. They're amazing. I love the death.
I'm sorry. What was the project again?
Fish on Base. They're quite new.
All right, DM the contract, bro.
You don't need that on Bolide. They're listed on Bolide. So one of the actual good features is if you're new and someone told you to go buy Fish on Base, you don't know how to do that because you go to deck screen and there's like a million fishes on base.
Yeah, for sure.
In Bolide, you just put Fish on Base, and that's the first thing that comes up.
And that's because you guys are doing curation of this content, basically, right? Like human people are making sure that what's listed there is correct.
Yeah, myself for now. We do what we have is two options of trading tokens. One is the ones that we list ourselves. Those are the projects coming to us and asking for listings, or the ones that I think have potential. So just the other day, today was actually a project man talked to me. He's like, "Why am I listed on the app? Like I did not ask for listing." I'm like, "I saw that you have potential, so I listed you. I wanted to trade a bit of your token." And they're like, "Well, thank you." And the second option the users have is if you have a contract address, you simply paste it into the search bar, and it's a feature called user added token. So you can essentially trade any token you want just by, pasting the contract.
I love it. Carlos, you're muted, by the way, my friend.
Yeah, sorry. There we go. And how are you? Where's the revenue generation for the app?
Right now, we take a 1% fee on every single trade, and that's it. We're earning very little. We're spending way more.
Yeah, no, I mean, so many businesses got off the ground by actually like running at a loss at the beginning, right? And just being.
We're not complaining because we know, our time is going to come when the markets go up, and yeah, I mean,
when is that again?
Yeah, can you when?
I thought he was going to let it out that time.
the pie is going to grow, and you're just waiting for the pie to grow.
Yeah.
I love it. So someone, let's say someone's brand new, right? Someone's watching this stream right now, and they're going, "Oh yeah, maybe it is a good time to start researching these memes." How do I get involved? How do I get the best experience from the best Bolide experience? Where would you direct?
The only issue is if you're watching this and you have an Android, I'm sorry. We're not out on Android yet. We're going to release a web app soon, which is going to allow you to trade on Android and even your computer. In about 2 weeks is the deadline. Right now, we're only on App Store. So right now, you go and you search up Bolide or Bolide app. The first thing that's going to come up is us. Or even meme coins. The first thing is going to come up is us.
Nice.
Yeah, you just
Flex
log in
again.
using your email. Using the, or if you're in Nigeria, if you go to your trending apps, we're #1.
Oh, triple
Wow,
flex.
that's amazing.
The rare triple flex.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. I would love to understand the thought process of the person that like rolls out of bed and decides I'm going to the app store and searching specifically meme coins.
I think you
There are
know. I
people.
think you know them.
Daily, there are around 200 people who search like that.
He's saying he says he wants to know who it is. It's him. It's Carlos. Carlos is people.
It's me. It's me. Yeah.
Trying to find alpha on App Store is going to be quite a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, I remember conversations with friends explaining why I purchased a certain coin and just like repeating that reasoning back to myself as I'm, on my way home. What was
At
that?
this point,
It's a blue chip.
At this point, I'm also in a lot of, I understand you're as well in a lot of trading groups, those secret chats. At this point, I just tell them it's a gamble. Just don't trust what I'm saying. If you believe in me, you're gonna buy. If you don't, I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, no,
Don't gamble what you can't afford to lose. There we go.
Exactly.
I'm sold on a meme coin if it's just hilarious. If the team is just consistently hilarious and they're not focused on, trying to constantly shill the token and get people to ape into it, right? But if they're just like consistently putting out the memes and being funny and creating lore around this community, and you see people kind of emerging out of the community and being part of the team almost like that to me. That's
what Base God has done. That's what Base God has done so well.
I was going to say as well.
Base God was already a meme, right? It was already part of the culture before it became a meme coin, and so it was really kind of brilliant that they like capitalized on that, and like it sort of made sense for it to be a coin on Base, obviously, and just the lore was kind of like built in already, and then they built on top of it.
Wait, and they built like products within the Base God ecosystem also. Yeah. There's the app that always ensures you're aligned.
Oh yeah. Like the compass.
Also,
basically, it's a Base God compass.
Base God compass. They also have just this week I discovered the Telegram game. I don't know if you see that. It's a little pixelated Base God
that's hilarious.
That like flies above, and there's curly hairs and straight hairs, and the curly hairs you have to like hold to pluck it. So it's when hair went in, and you're just like flying across, either plucking straight hairs or curly hair.
Next time someone asks me what problem crypto solves, I'll be sure to point them in direction of the Base God curly hair game.
Yeah, it's hilarious. That's a great example of a community that is obviously very devoted to what they're building there, and the community is very much so willing to roll up their sleeves and build things for this ecosystem. It's great.
Yeah, we've been trying to, obviously we worked with them since the very beginning, because they were one of the first. They were actually the first ever airdrop we've ever done. And I was kind of expecting, I'm sort of there from the show account, so sort of slowly watching what they're doing, and they haven't stopped. Those are one of like the hardest working communities out there. They just keep delivering and delivering and delivering. Like they're not looking at their price at all. They're not looking at charts. They're not looking at the market condition. They're just amazing. I mean, big props to them, because it's hard to do. It's honestly, I mean, they've been around for so long. They must be very tired, but the fact that they just keep going, it's honestly plausible.
Yeah, I'm so entertained by that whole movement that I even LP'd in Aerodrome. Not financial, obviously not financial advice, but yeah, I thought it was hilarious.
Awesome. Well, we're coming up on the hour here, so just want to make sure we have a chance to thank Nick for joining us. I think one of your colleagues was supposed to join us, and you did a switcheroo last second, so I really appreciate you making the time to come and chat with us about what you guys are building. It's been great to learn about it. If people are watching this and they want to learn more about Bolide, where's the best place for them to track that information down?
Our Twitter, I believe, was where you're gonna find all the information. So it's bolide_app.
One L,
on
right?
X.
Bolide, right?
Yeah, just like in my, I don't know if they can see my name on the
Yeah, they should be able to. Yeah.
BOLIDE_app. There's links to the website, there's links to the app, and yeah. Anyway, our DMs are always open. Feel free to reach out. I'll be on the line answering and giving any information.
I love it.
I'll tell
Carlos, I think we've officially done like 25 or 26 of these episodes now, and we've done it all the way through On-Chain Summer. So I think we started this back in February, so it was like On-Chain Spring, I guess, back then, and we went all the way through On-Chain Summer. Had some amazing guests, including Base God himself was on our space early on. We originally started doing these as spaces on X, and then recently switched over to doing video, and it's been fun to chat and see people's faces and really get a chance to meet some of the awesome people who are building on Base. And what's next, Carlos? What comes after On-Chain Summer? What's going on?
Well, obviously, it's a perfect time for us to launch the $BB token, and it's going to be available on Bolide. No, there's no
I gotta go.
There's no base builder token.
Yes. Not yet.
So I gotta give props to Nick as well. Nick came through with great timing to go ahead and copy pasta and improve, even to customize the orange base logo. So it's officially On-Chain Autumn.
Oh, is that
It
what
is.
that's about? Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're doing we're cooking a little something from Yellow as well called On-Chain Autumn. So I guess we had interesting overlap of ideas. But starting on the 21st of September, we're going to be launching a series of collaborations from the Yellow Collective that sort of big up creators and artists, which is kind of our jam. So if you want to collaborate with Yellow on On-Chain Autumn, let us know, because Autumn's pretty. I mean, it's orange, but it's also pretty yellow. So I think it's going to be fun, and we just don't want the On-Chain Summer energy to end. So let's keep it going.
It's never going
there's
to.
also there's also speculation in all of my cabal groups that orange version of the base logo could be related to Bitcoin on Base somehow.
That's a good guess, actually. That could be it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to wait and find out.
One quick question before I leave is where can we find the spaces? Because we want to repost it as well, and join in for more to listen.
Yeah, so it's on our YouTube. You can always find the recordings of these on our YouTube at The Noun Square, TheNounSquare, and I'll get you a nice copy of the recording here as well that you can reshare as you'd like. This content, as with all of our content that we produce at The Noun Square, is CC0 licensed, so it is completely public domain, and Nick, you, and anyone else can use it, remix it, cut it up, put it on TikTok, do whatever you'd like with it, and yeah, that's all fair game.
Nice. And I mean, you guys been doing really well. I don't know much about Carlos. I think it's my first time meeting him, but Toady Hawk, I've been seeing you around on Farcaster. My goal is to make enough meme coins is to buy myself a noun. Thanks to you, actually. You introduced me to nouns. I think you post and
I love that, man. We'd love to have your energy. So don't you have a nounish PFP, I think, don't you, on Farcaster?
I do, but that was one of the ones custom made on the nouns app.
I love that. Yeah, well, it's
a noun and a bolide background, so everything.
Amazing.
That's dope. Yeah, we should find the yellow and nouns and bolide crossover there for sure.
We'll chat.
If you're looking for a specific head as well, you can make a request to the Noun Square, and they'll try to mint that for you.
For nouns, yeah. Speaking of specific heads too, I think today's Yellow Collective. Oh no, I thought it was a base head, but it was yesterday. Yesterday you missed it. Mirko picked up our base head collective now number 306 yesterday. Today we've got a snail though, and he's pretty handsome. You want to look at this now? Hold on. Let's see if we can share this here. Present, share screen.
Nick, that's also how I got noun pilled.
There you go. That's today's Yellow Collective noun. Pretty handsome looking snail, if I do say so myself.
Very nice.
And yeah, we're just now pilling people left, right, and center. We picked up Carlos, and now Nick's going to be our next host for next week. We're just going to keep going until we have like 35 hosts for the space at the end of the year.
We're starting a meme podcast starting next week.
That's actually not the worst idea I've ever had. Like, it's kind of a funny idea. Is every week you just add another guest to the podcast until it just becomes completely chaotic. Yeah, we'll talk about that one offline. I think there's something there. But anyway, this has been another episode of the Based Builders Show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Carlos, thanks as always for lining up the guest and for being my amazing co-host. And thank you, Nick, for joining and telling us all about Bolide app. We'll be back here same time, same bad channel, of course, next Wednesday at 3 p.m. EST, 12 p.m. PST, and I don't know what time UTC, but we'll figure that out for you and get it 8 o'clock. There we go. Nick coming in clutch with the UTC. Love it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, y'all. Later.
Bye.
We got our tools and dreams building on these digital streams. Engineers, artists, we unite, creating wonders day and night. We are the base builders, on-chain thrillers with our tokens built. Watch our visions fulfilled. From the ground up we rise, with Ethereum as our skies. Smart contracts paving the way, innovation here to stay. We are the base builders, on-chain thrillers with our tokens built. Watch our visions fulfilled. Together we stand so strong. In this community we belong. Coders and creators side by side, building futures far and wide. Collaborate.